Well, the practice of maranasati, awareness of death, mindfulness of death, or better, taking death personally, is something to be developed through learning from experience, doing it, and learning how to do it by doing it. And we have only 2 suttas where the Buddha gives a description or some details as to how to do it, and both of them are useful. The first one is the one where the Buddha says that the way you develop mindfulness of death is every morning and every evening you contemplate the next 12 hours. I would live for these 12 hours, or if I live through these 12 hours, I might die. I might die this day. I might die this evening. Is there anything which, were I to die this day, that I have left undone, and that not having done would lead to my remorse or lack of welfare? So is there anything that I really need to do that I've been putting off somehow, or that I haven't done yet, that is really worth doing or interesting to do or should be done? So that's a contemplation, a setting up the mind for this day, this evening. And it's something, if you do it every morning and every evening for, let's say, 5 years, it can bring about quite an interesting development or change of perspective. And that change of perspective can't be attained by somebody who's done it for 5 years saying, well, this is what I've learned. You know, that's the, if anything has been learned, and that is verbalized, that becomes a verbal formula. It's not the experience itself. And the experience is not an experience, it's a whole kind of experience. It's changed. And it's a reordering or clarifying, simplifying of priorities and interests and sense of significance and importance. So yes, as you said, you still have to wash clothes. If you knew you were going to die today, would you go to Bangkok to do something? Well, obviously in a sense not. If what you were doing because it would lead to something 5 days from now. There's no point in doing that. But you still have to be somewhere. You are still caught up in the unfolding of your projects, your activities, all the choices you've made that have led to where you are now and what's going on now, and the choices you're making now, which tend to be just the same choices you made in the past, but always can be a new choice if you're ever ready to make a new choice. So you still have to live. So that's our problem. It's not dying, it's living until we die. That's the difficult part, or could be the difficult part. So the mindfulness of death doesn't give us an answer to the question, what should I do? Which is a general question for our whole life and is a specific question for every instant, every choice. But it's helpful in coming to see that question, that difficulty, that problem. What should I do? What do I need to do? As to see it in a way that it stops being a problem. And so there's no general answer. There is a general direction in living, which is simplification. But it's that simplification is really what's for a simplification of mind, not necessarily a simplification of external activity as some kind of primary objective. That the simplification of activity is a helpful upaya, a helpful means. So one way of seeing the Buddha's teaching is, in terms of practice, is that what a monk or a nun should do is as little as possible, which is to do a lot of sitting and standing up and a heck of a lot of breathing in and out. So in a way you can say that meditation is like that. Meditation is simplifying activity to the point where the mind starts becoming visible, the mind starts becoming palpable, contactable. And the practice of considering I might die this day, I might die this evening, one day I will die, one day will be the day that I die. I may know before, or I may not know. It may be a car crash or an earthquake, or something unexpected. For some people it is. For other people, they know for days or weeks before that it's coming, even though at some level they probably still don't accept it, or may not accept it. But that practice is, I think, a really useful one, and certainly it doesn't in itself take a long time. It's something that goes along with lots of other practices, potentially, and I think it's very helpful.